Hi guys, looks like you guys did some great work today. I asked Arlene if you guys wanted more feedback, and she said yes, of course, always. So I'm going to give you some feedback here. The one thing I like, lots of things I like, but one of the things I liked is here's the end of the note hole block, and you guys are transitioning into your 3 lines for your intersection. And I'm sure this didn't happen by accident. You told the girls to keep their arms down and then bring them up all together. I just wanted to point out the last 2 girls in this line. I really like what they do. They keep their arms down, their foot pumps out to the side with their arms still down, and then they come up with their arms when their feet come together. It's very clean, and up, it's very sharp. You can even see the 2 girls in front of them, their arms start drifting up a little bit prior to their feet coming together. Where the last 2 girls are the ones that I really like to see how they come up nice. So if you could just make that happen throughout like the entire program, that's the kind of sharpness that you want, those last 2 girls. Then again, though, I am distracted, though, once they get connected, they do crossovers. Now, this is good in that they come together, there's no chasing, but then their crossovers look a little bouncy afterwards instead of just being down on their knees and showing good crossover quality. This looks nice, and then they're just kind of bouncing around right there, if that makes sense. The other side, I can tell, does the same thing. I think there's a girl in the back here who keeps her arms down, and then they come up sharply, where most of the girls around her anticipate the arms coming up. Their arms are down, but they're starting to come up a little bit on the push. Keep the arms down on the push, and then snap them up when the feet come together. Also, too, this girl is still wanting to anticipate. She's making her line chase after her, right? There she goes. There she goes, and now she's going to have to... She's disconnected from her line. This girl's probably bringing her arms up because she realizes she's got to reach for her. And now she's slowing down to wait for her line. She's looking back at her line. So she's got to just not do that. Just chill a little bit. If that makes sense. Actually, that girl that had her arms up, I think she was the lead of the line. So again, just keep the arms down for the push out, and then bring the arms up and the feet together. It'll have a sharpness to it. I also see that you switched which line goes on the inside and the outside here. That looks awesome. It seems like it's working a whole lot better for you guys. That's good. Again, but watch the arms. Arms down is a position. This is just very distracting. You're right in front of the judges. Okay, so those are the, again, details. I know you're working on them. It's looking better, but again, those are things I'm giving you feedback on. Am I assuming that you're not going to do the back lunge? If you're not, if it's only a dip, this isn't super hard. This needs to be lined up perfectly. You only have 12 skaters, so there's no reason why this can't be lined up perfect, especially if you're not doing the lunge. I think the lunge would have a cool look to it. In this girl, I'm not sure what that is looking like. That needs to be a lunge there. She's like already coming up, like before everybody else. So again, just cleaner positions. Again, showing these videos to the girls, stopping it, having them see it. She probably won't do that mistake again. And I know that you're still developing this ending, which is going to be fine, I'm sure. The girls are just confused as to where they need to go, but I'm sure you'll work that out over the next couple of days. But again, my favorite part is the sharpness of these back 2 girls as they pump and bring their arms up. Here it comes, and down, boing. If you can imagine all 12 girls being that sharp, that would look awesome. Okay? Okay, going back to the beginning now. These leaders, because they're skating this way to start, subconsciously, they're giving themselves a head start. And because these girls have to make a kind of like a U-turn on themselves, they don't do that. So I don't know what you need to do here. If you can't stop these girls from doing this, then you need to let these girls go that way, because this line is supposed to do a 3-turn, And when they're done with the 3 turn, they should be at a 45. They're at the 45 before the 3 turn. Also know that they're doing the 3 turn too early. These people are already into their 3 turn and these people are not. So they're already done. They haven't even started their 3 turn yet. This line is trying to get out of 45. This line's already at the red line. I think if the girls see this video, they realize that they can just relax a little bit. Again, if this line was over here, they would be able to do more crossovers and build up more speed and more tension. There's not tension here because they kind of come around each other, and there's not enough tension in these lines to pull them straight. You know, maybe the other side, if you can't stop this side, remember, Darlene, aim left. Remember we talked about that, or was that you? No. It was somebody else. A story is if you keep playing golf and you keep slicing the ball to the right, you can work your whole life trying to fix your wrist and closing the club face, or you can continue slicing right, but just aim left so that you fix the mistake on the visual to everybody else, although there's a mistake still there. So maybe make these girls jump a little bit and get out of 45 and make them do their 3 turn a little bit earlier so that these lines can start across from each other. Okay, the problems with these lines are this line, Luna's line, needs to go down a little bit farther and then not pull back. This line has the opposite problem. It likes to pull back too soon and it doesn't go down the ice far enough. So Luna's line's got to go down the ice. Their backs have to kind of stay backwards right now. And again, if this line didn't jump the gun, they'd be over here and these two lines would be across from each other. Okay, now this line here is going to, this one girl is going to stop the travel right there, all right, there. She is like turning her hips super tight. And basically you can see how her body is facing a different way from the rest of her line, which actually is called an assist, so that could be a problem. She needs to just let this line kind of go back a little bit. But because she curves it around, she gets this line really whippy. And you can see the spacing here is going to close up because she's just going to come right around, and that's a really tight space there. Yeah, so then she's going to go, then this line here, they should start curving in. The whole line has to help Luna. The whole line is like swinging and they're going to really pull back. And so this just breaks way, I mean, this line should be like over here and bringing it around. But again, the problem is Luna's line does not skate backwards enough right here. They should be skating backwards more. Luna should be skating backwards to travel a bit more. This line is just anticipating, and then they stop it right there. She stops it. I mean, that's a really tight circle she did there. She went from there to there. That's really a tight circle. That makes sense. So if she was back here, the spacing would be more consistent. In other words, her line would be back here more. So when it rotates again, she's going to be like a little bit farther than Luna. But right now, because she turned so tightly right here, she's going to end up way over here, and it's going to just look like a mile apart. Okay. Then we need to get these lines closer together. What I like is how nice and neat the arms look right there. Oh, that looks so nice. I can't stop it fast enough. Like, make sure the arms are all level and the foot's back. For a moment, I see a pretty picture. Make sure the kick is all the same. Make sure they hit it right away. And then again, your lines are too far apart, so they have a hard time getting back together. You're staying connected here, but there's still some tugging and pulling here, which just is distracting. But again, you guys have done a lot better with this. Make sure that's how synchronized skating should look, where everybody's foot's at the same level. I will say that this person's arm is up, this person's arm is down. I know that's a little detail, but if you take a look at it right now, this person has their arm down, this person has their arm up. So make sure you tell the ends what you want. The 3-second detachment here is good. Remember how I liked the end section where the arms came up on the pump when the feet came together? I feel like this is another opportunity that can happen. I know you go into this teapot hold, but they kind of go into the teapot hold now, and the arms just kind of look messy. If you remember how nice and sharp that other line looked, you won't have this reaching. Everybody's arms would be down right now, and then when their feet came together, bing, their arms would go up into that position. So they'd be like, they wouldn't be reaching and tugging. They'd be down, and then that position would happen like in an instant right there. Doing a better job with these lead skaters. Again, everybody's arms should be super strong. I just see some tugging and pulling and some breaking of lines here. But this is better, definitely better. But again, you have extension and not extension. What is it that you guys want here? You also pick up your foot here, or some of them do. Some of them don't. This girl is going to turn right away. She's already turning. The rest of the line hasn't. Her arms are out. So when does her leg come up? When does it come down? And when do they start turning? It has to be very clear. But you definitely get through the intersection well, and the ends look like they understand that they're pumping together. Definitely I see lines here. So this has really improved a lot. Good job. Get some speed around the corner. Get some speed. And Darlene, you're doing a great job directing the team. I see you all over this video, so that's awesome that you're giving them instant feedback while they're skating. Things like this is becoming an easy pivot for them. I really think they're doing a great job. So where are their heads? What about their upper body? Right now they're facing the judges. They should have their chest up, down on their knees. We shouldn't have some people looking this way while other people are looking that way. Maybe, start talking about which direction their head turns, when it turns. Extension here looks good. That's how a synchro team should look. You can see that there's lines in the arms and extended free legs that match. And I don't know if you've worked on this extension or if they're just kind of getting comfortable, but that is how it's supposed to look. Can you imagine if the entire program had this kind of a look to their skate? That would be awesome. Okay, again, arms down, and give them a timing of when they come up. Okay, I still feel like you're not getting this pivot around enough. And this leader is looking back at her line. So she needs to go diagonal here, because I can tell that, although it's hard to see, she's in front of her line right now. I can just see how her shoulders are all twisted up. She is, a foot in front of the person next to her. And so these are supposed to look like two nice, clear lines. And, when do you step forwards, and what do you want that extension to look like? Like, I see people in the back stepping forward. She's still in the middle of the crossover. This looks a little bit messy right here. So again, give them a timing of when they step forwards. But again, you've done a great job here transitioning. This circle bothers me. It travels really well. You guys look like you've worked on it. I see many of the girls staying calmer and leaning back right here in this area. I do see a couple girls leaning back over here in this area, which is not what you're supposed to do, but it travels better. What I'm still concerned about is the timing of the crossovers. A, it'll travel better, and B, it'll look better if their crossovers can be in the right time. For example, these girls have all crossed. These girls are doing their push. Like, they're in the cross. That's their right leg underneath. These three girls, are left leg is pushing out. That makes sense. Where can I get another one? Of course, when I watched this video earlier, I was able to get a whole bunch of them. Yeah, well, I can't get them now. So it looks like everybody's doing the right steps now, but they are definitely not all crossing at the same time. Like this girl here is not crossing at the same time. Like right here, like they're crossing, she's not crossing. Yeah, it's hard. Okay, anyway, just work on those crossovers happening at the same time. Also, when you guys go down into this lunge, make sure that your tall girls get down. Like this girl here is not down. It'd be awesome if you guys could be in flight like this and down all the way. Well, here's the problem. She's in flight and nobody else is. So again, when is the timing of this jump and when do the girls go down? You can make that look really good. Right now, it's just a little bit off. And arms down. You guys are doing better getting your arms down for sure. I also see that you are now doing this transition unattached, which is awesome. The girls kind of have figured out where they're supposed to go, so you're able to do it. One girl forgot to, and she kept her arms up. But they're able to get into a nice little block shape. I like how you and Isabel skate next to them to keep them nice and tight, which is awesome. But again, arms, 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 arms. You want these little pencils. We want pencil shapes here. We want pencil shapes. And then when we do 3 turns, I bet we're gonna have arms on 3 turns. Okay, and the timing of the 3 turns. I know this is Broken Arm Girl. She needs to get on board. She's on the judge's side, so we can see that she's a little bit early and late. She turns before everybody else. And then the twizzles, this little girl back here isn't at right time. But I can tell you guys are keeping them tighter. Watch the arms, watch the arms, watch the arms, watch the arms. This has improved a lot, guys. But this arm, so this arm that comes up right here, you can see you have to really work on the timing. Like the arm has to come up and hold so we can see a picture that everybody's arm is up. Arms that kind of just make a motion sometimes are hard to match, but if they all kind of go up and then come down, there's a motion where you can see everybody's arms up, even though they might go up at different times. For a moment, everybody's there instead of having it continuous. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But this has improved a lot. Good job. And make sure you match the legs. Anything that sticks out is going to be catching the attention of judges. So make sure that they're all sticking out. And the outside girl, I think it's Susie, make sure she knows that she needs to stay tight to this line. She does this twizzle and obviously bursts out. She's like out of the picture frame and then kind of comes in from out of nowhere. Like, ooh, okay. So she's got to make that turn a little tighter. Okay. So those are just some small comments, guys. It looks a whole lot better. Just, again, arms sharp. They're either down or they're up, and you give them a count of when they come down, when they come up. Keep the, again, arms, 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 arms. Just, you're right in front of the judges right here. And again, here we go. This is like the circle. Person's crossing, kind of finishing across, is taking the push. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, you know, you can work off ice, but those are the things that makes a difference, that crispness of those positions. All right, good job, guys.